So who am I? I am a straight, white, Christian, married, suburban mom who knows that the very notion that learning about slavery or redlining or systemic racism somehow means that children are being taught to feel bad or hate themselves because they are white is absolute nonsense. No child alive today is responsible for slavery. No one in this room is responsible for slavery. But each and every single one of us bears responsibility for writing the next chapter of history.
By now, you've seen this fiery and unsparing speech filled with truth-telling this week by Democratic Michigan State Senator Mallory McMorrow. She hit back against a disgusting smear from a Republican colleague who was fundraising off of this, by the way, that McMorrow wants to, quote, groom and sexualize kindergartners and teach, quote, that 8-year-olds are responsible for slavery. McMorrow's justifiable moral indignation has some in the political world calling it the perfect blueprint for Democrats. Joining me now is Democratic State Senator from Michigan, Mallory McMorrow. Senator McMorrow, thank you for coming to the Sunday Show, and good to see you again since I interviewed you,
too,
on the Last Word earlier this week. So your speech struck a chord, not only because of its power, but also because it's so rare to hear a Democrat stand in their values so forcefully and as forcefully as you did. Why do you think it's so rare?
I think it's rare because there's this coordinated effort by Republicans, and there was a story in the New York Times about it today. Christopher Rufo, starting with critical race theory, moving into LGBTQ issues, to create issues, to create a moral panic. And I think there's a fear of stepping into it and speaking about it in the wrong way. And I think we have to reclaim our identities, stand in our morals, stand in our values, stand for our families, and call it out for the absolute nonsense that it is.
You know, you also say, and I'm sorry we don't have the clip, but I'm just going to read this quote. I want every child to feel seen, heard, and supported, not marginalized and targeted if they are not straight, white, and Christian. And it's the fire when you say straight, white, and Christian, that if someone wasn't paying attention by then, they really were paying attention. You are not afraid. You are not ceding the moral high ground to Republicans when it comes to being specifically a Christian. Why is that so important for you to reclaim that particular piece of your identity?
Because it has been so maddening to see both suburban moms and Christianity being weaponized, being used in these very hateful ways to target marginalized communities. And I know that it doesn't speak for me. It doesn't speak for most of the suburban Christian moms that I represent who are in my community. And in a fear of saying the wrong thing, we're not saying anything. So it's important that we take it back, we claim our identities, and we say that hate is not what faith in Christianity and being a mom is all about.
You know, many viewers know that I am an out gay married man. But when I heard you say I am a straight, white, Christian, married, suburban mom, I felt what you were saying to my core, in my DNA. Not because I'm straight, white, or a suburban mom, but because you were standing up. You were standing up for me. And you were standing up for people who don't look like me, who are, you know, who aren't LGBTQ. Why is it important for people like you to stand up for people like me?
I have talked to friends, colleagues in the LGBTQ community just about how exhausted they are of having to defend themselves and their right to exist, about having to tell people, I'm not a pedophile, I'm not a groomer. It's horrific. We can't constantly ask the community who is targeted to defend themselves. Amen. I am not marginalized, and it's going to take a lot more people like me to take the hits, because they attempted to paint me as one of them, right? It's, you know, she can't be a Christian mom. She's got to be one of them if she's standing up beside them. And if we keep taking the hits, people like me, we take away its power. And we owe it to our neighbors and our friends who are just trying to live.
Have you heard from your Republican colleagues since your speech?
No, not at all.
Nary a one.
Nope. And in fact, they're doubling down. In Michigan, we had our nominating convention, the GOP nominating convention yesterday for Attorney General and for Secretary of State. And they nominated a woman for Secretary of State who believes that people in the LGBTQ community are going against God's design, who promote election fraud and conspiracy theories. And since my speech, the senator has sent out multiple fundraising emails accusing me of being a liar. Another Michigan Republican sent out an email saying, your child has been scheduled for gender reassignment surgery with a link. And that link clicked to his own fundraising page. So they are doubling and tripling down on this.
I mean, the camera wasn't on me when you just said that last bit. I mean, just when you think that they couldn't go any lower, they go lower. I shouldn't be astounded, but I am astounded. In the less than a minute that we have left, Senator McMorrow, where are you finding strength in all this? Because to not hear from any of your Republican colleagues, to be standing out there in such a public way that you are, must be taxing and wearying on you.
You know what? It's not, because the outpouring of support and stories, especially from parents of trans kids or people from all around the country, Republicans, Democrats alike, who said, you are right, and this is hate, and we have to call it out for what it is. So my hope is that there are a lot more people like me who see what I did and say, we have to stand up and fight back, because this strategy is not going away. This is the playbook. This is the strategy to target and marginalize. And we may get to a place where we're out of time to fight back, and we can't afford that.
I hope your fellow Democrats around the country are listening. I wish you incredible luck. I want you to stay in touch. Folks who are watching, you have been listening to and you are seeing right there on the other side of the screen a leader. Michigan State Senator Mallory McMorrow, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Jonathan.